Still waiting for my Commodore 64 Ultimate. All I can do is sit and watch this old Commodore 64G. Hey, wait a minute. Something came in. Something was delivered. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro. Yes, it's finally time. I got a Commodore 64 Ultimate. Finally. And I say finally because to be frankly, I should have had one a long time ago, but something or someone didn't want that to happen. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about that first. So I ordered a Commodore 64 Ultimate Founders Edition back in August, and as expected it would not arrive until maybe in the beginning of 2026. However, things took time and I can understand that. Commodore had some issues and were open about that and everything, no problem with that. But then finally it was time to ship my machine, and it got shipped and it was sent through German post, DPD. It stayed there for a long time, and then I got a message from my local post here that the package was delivered. I was at work in the office, so I actually hurried home and thought maybe it was delivered outside my door, but come home and nothing there. So where's the package? I tried to contact the local support, and yeah, they did never receive any package, and the delivery notice was not correct. And then a bit later I got an update from the tracking of DPD that it was actually being returned. Okay, well, fine. By that I was a little bit angry, and I actually ordered this, and this is a Starlight edition, and that's what I have today, and I still haven't seen my Founders edition. However, a couple of weeks ago I got a notice that they had gotten my Founders edition in return and they were reshipping it, and so they did. And the same story again. Package was shipped through DPD. Same story, goes into storage there for a long time, maybe 1 week. Nothing happens in the tracking, and then suddenly, boom, it's being returned again. But yesterday I got this, so that's a little bit uplifting anyway. I have a machine now, but I should have had my Founders edition maybe 1.5 months ago at least. So whose fault is it? I don't know. It's not the Norwegian Post. I contacted them. The package was never ever sent to Norway. And DPD support, they're crap. They're not answering, and if they answer, they just refer me to the Norwegian Post. So I don't know, maybe it's Commodore's fault. They didn't provide the correct shipping information or something like that. Have no clue, but what I know is that a lot of other fellow Norwegians has had the same issue, where the package either was held up with something or was simply returned. But enough about that. I'm sure you've already seen a bunch of unboxing and tests of this machine already. I'm always late to the game, but this is my take on it, so take it or leave it. Hope you will enjoy this video anyway. Yeah, and I paid for this machine for myself. Yeah, I want to keep this box nice, undamaged. Yes, and the box looks alright on the outside, no apparent damages. I think I'll do it like this. Oh, it goes into the roof. Oh, it's called sealing when it's inside. Yeah. Oh. Nice. Commodore 64 Ultimate. Fanboy here. So there you have it. The Commodore 64 Ultimate. And if there ever was any doubt, I can tell you that I was and still am very fond of the Commodore 64, and that is and was my favorite machine back in the day. I had this breadbox variant around 86, I think 84, 85, 86, something like that. I don't remember. Yeah, let's take a look at the box. There's no marks or any sort of damage. So it comes in 3 variants. You have the basic beige, which is obviously the cheapest variant, but also the one that looks most like the original. You have the Starlight edition, which is semi-transparent, and this is the one I have here. And it has the cool feature with the LED dance and reacts to the SID chip sound. And then the Founders edition, which is the collector's version and has a limited number. That was the one I ordered. And in my mind, I was hoping that they would ship out the Founders editions first, but they didn't. And then we have the back side. And this box, yeah, it looks like the original box from back in the day. Obviously with a little bit more modern information and stuff, but you can see these are 80s photos. Cassette deck, floppy disk drive. The original Commodore 64 had 64 kilobytes of RAM. Let's take a look at the technical specs here. So it has 128 megabyte DDR2 RAM, 60 megabyte ROM flash. It's an FPGA, so it has an AMD Silex Arctic 7. Yeah, 66 key mechanical keyboard. That keyboard is obviously a replica of the old keyboard. You can still use the old keyboard, as I understand. And it has a HDMI output, and also it has analog, composite and S-video and RGB. For sound it hosts 8 virtual SIDs, but it also has 2 original SID sockets. That means you can insert original or replica SIDs for that matter. It has a built-in little speaker, and it also has optical output and 3.5mm out for audio. It has the DB9 joystick ports like the original, cartridge, cassette and disc ports also like the original, and an internal user port. It also has the modern Ethernet, Wi-Fi and USB connectors and a micro SD slot. It runs on 12 volts power. The only little damage I can see to the box is up here. It has a little bit of creasing there, but yeah, that's not a big issue. Probably got pushed down around here, and that's most definitely the shipper's fault. By the way, this was sent from the Netherlands post, and I had no issues with those. Yes, an exciting moment here. Let's open the box. I got it yesterday and I actually wanted to open it then, but I had to finish my last project, the BBC computer. It's a little bit of tape there. Let's cut it and see if we can open this without breaking it. Yeah, satisfying. Oh, more fanboy alerts. All right, the machine's here. There's some paper there. I don't know what that is supposed to do, but it's there. Let's start with the box on the side. This is very white on the camera. I think it's all right. The reason I'm extra careful with this is because whenever I finally get the Founders edition, I was thinking about selling this. I don't need 2 of those. but unfortunately I need to open it now so I can make a video. There's the HDMI cable. I don't need to open that. I have lots of those. There's a power supply. And there's the cassette. We'll take a look at that soon. And some stickers. And I'm not going to use those. But they look very nice. So that was the contents of that box. Let me put that to the side. So you guys already got yours. And what is your reaction so far to the machine? Let me hear in the comments. Yeah. And this is the moment of truth. I heard some had gotten the damaged machines, but so far this looks to be in perfect order. And yeah, the manual, we must not forget the manual. There's the user's guide, and it's this spiral bounded book. Very nice. Not gonna open that, I think. Maybe we take a look at it. Yes, maybe. Why not? Back to the machine. Wrapped in plastic. Simple tape. I like that. I don't like when there's too much tape and stuff to take away. Yes. Look at the beauty. Oh my goodness. So, do you refer to Commodore as he or she? Personally, I never thought about it, but for this one, I want to call it a she. I don't know why. Yeah, and there is apparently no cracks or any damage at all. Yeah, looks perfect. Almost like I should have worn white gloves. Ooh. Okay, I want to hook it straight up. The first thing I want to do is to upgrade the firmware, I think. There was a little bit debate about the new firmware, as it apparently was hinted to that Commodore was gonna start locking down the firmware so that you couldn't install your own firmware or something like that. I'm not really sure, but seems like they have reversed that decision. Hook it up. No more need for the analog video cable anymore. No, it's HDMI. And the power. Yeah, on the right side, as on the original C64, we have the joystick, or as they call, control ports 1 and 2, and the power button. This is a multifunction button on this machine. It's also a power button, but it has more functions, and the 8-bit power in. Power adapter. Yeah, it's probably just standard old multi voltage power adapter. I mean multi, like in 100 to 230 volts or something. The only thing that this is also transparent or semi-translucent. And there's a plug for a British, American. Oh, that's American. I don't know what that is. This is the EU standard and same as we use in Norway. So that goes somehow into here. Yeah, that's the correct way. And then you switch it like that. Nice. Yes, very tight. Yes. Ready to rock and roll. It's not often I actually use the HDMI input on my TV here because it's only used for old stuff. But let's turn it on. Oh, it's add some power and turn it on. Ooh, I turn off the light. Yeah, it works. It works. It freaking works. Let me do that again. Let me turn it off. Oh, how do you turn it off? I'm a noob. You push it down and hold. Yeah, let us see that power on sequence again. Oh my goodness. It looks amazing. And the black keycaps, they're semi-translucent too. And as always, as I always do with new machines, I make a small program. So please bear with me. And the keys, they feel amazing. Not like the original, they're a little bit more softer. And see, now it changes color. It went from blue to purple. I don't know how well that shows, but yeah. It feels like a Commodore keyboard, but still not. It's a little bit more soft to the touch, a little bit more precise. And now it changes to green. The only problem I see with LED lighting is that it actually shines a little bit from my screen. So if I turn the lights all the way off and see if I can up the lighting on the camera. Wow, that's too much. Anyway, it looks very, very nice. All right then, that was that. Let's see what we have in the menu. I'm not going to go through all this and all the setup and all the configuration you can do. Obviously, it can connect to the internet via Wi-Fi, and you have the Commodore server and all that stuff. But I was thinking about updating the firmware, and the software version is 3.14, which it came with, but after that they have changed the versioning, so I think it's 1.01 now, or 1.1. Yeah, here at the Commodore.net you find the 8-bit approved firmware Commodore 64 Ultimate version 1.10. So I simply just download that and unzip it. There you have it. It's a UE2 file, and it has a changelog text file with it. There's various fixes and changes. So to update that, you simply copy the file to a USB drive and insert it and boot the machine. And do I have an available USB drive? Yes, I have, because the cassette. This is a 80s cassette, but it's a little bit special because it's a USB drive. Cool. The very second. So I inserted the USB drive into my PC, and here is the content. Demos, BBS, games. Yeah, there's a few games that comes with it, and there's I think there's a new game too that hasn't been released before or just recently. There is GEOS boot disk, GUI64. That's yeah, GEOS is the old operating system for the Commodore 64 and 128 from back in the day. GUI64 is a new version, or a new operating system, another one. So to upgrade, simply take the UE2 file, copy it over there to the root, I suppose. And that's it so far. So now I'm just testing this. The form factor is a little inconvenient if you're gonna connect it to various kinds of devices, but you could take off the cassette housing if you want, but I was thinking just making a copy and just keep this safe somewhere. But for now, let's insert it to the machine. And the USB is back here. That obviously builds a little bit of space behind the machine. Then we need to turn on the machine and go to the file browser menu. Disk file browser, yeah. SD card, USB disk. There it is. So it's a 4 megabyte big file. Run update. Yes. So this is of course a scary moment. Reformat flash disk. Do we want to do that? I guess it doesn't mean the USB disk. So this is a new machine. There's nothing on the flash disk. It has built-in flash memory which you can store and load things from. So about to update, yes. So there's the various ROMs for floppy disk drives and stuff. And now it's updating the FPGA chip. There's a little bit of debate about the FPGA. Is it emulation or is it not? I would definitely say it's not emulation. It's actually hardware replication, because the FPGA chip actually replicates the real hardware. And I actually thought about learning it myself, how to program FPGA, just to make some simple stuff, some simple logic stuff to play around with. We'll see if I get time. And now it's updating the ESP32. Yeah, it also has a ESP32 microcontroller built in. Success. Reset configuration, yes. And now it's turning off. Yeah, that was it. Clean and simple. So then turn it on again, see if it actually updated. Go down to system information. Yeah, there we have it. Software version 1.1.0, 16th of March. And there's a few technical details here. Drive A enabled, bus type ID8, drive B disabled. And how do we navigate back? F1. Oh, escape, or not escape. The upper left arrow key, built-in drive A. Yeah, it's a 1541 that's emulated there. Let's take a quick look at the video setup. It's PAL, which is good. We're in PAL country. We can set the HDMI scan resolution. I don't know if it really matters, but yeah, you can set it up to full HD. I mean, for this TV. We have the scan lines. We can disable that. But I just leave it like that for now. And here we have the palette definition where you can actually change the color palette. If you're not happy with the original, and I hear like the disc sound, because actually it tries to emulate the sound of a floppy disk drive. No. And there we have the audio setup. So here we have the two internal sockets. They're both disabled. And then we have other SID configuration. User interface, color scheme. Let's try Ultimate Black. Yes. Okay, that looks better. I'm a dark mode man. Everything on my work computer is in dark mode if it can. Alright then, let's insert the cassette again just to see if we can run something from it. And hopefully it's quite easy. I mean, with this big USB drive, if you're unlucky, I think you can actually rip off the USB port from the motherboard if you bump into it. But then again, that's probably something you can do anyway. So let's see now. We go to games, PAL. So there's a few games. There's yeah, actually I'm not really familiar with any of those games except The Way of the Exploding Fist. So we can run it or mount it. If you mount it and then go back into C64 Basic, I guess you just see the files, like, yeah, like if they're on drive 8. Yeah, I hear the floppy drive. This is so cool. So let's just load Commodore 8,1 then. That was fast. Yeah, now you clearly see the glare from the screen, but my screen is quite low. It doesn't have any feet or support, so it just sits straight on the table. Yeah, I'm not gonna cut out this. You're gonna get the full experience of waiting. But while waiting, why not hook up a joystick? Oh my god. Oh, I jumped. A joystick, I mean, I have this gamepad here, but I'm gonna hook it up to port 2 is usually the one that gets used by most games. It's loading now with original speed, and that could easily take a few minutes. But we have lots of time, don't we? Yeah. You can easily install turbo disk, I mean, ways to speed it up, like fast load cartridges and stuff like that. It's just a matter of selecting a cartridge file, or you can use the original cartridge for that matter, if you have one. Yeah, this took a while, so I'll probably cut a little bit of this out anyway. Yeah. And now we see the machine flashing to the music. That's so cool. That's amazing. How cool. Okay, let's try and play. I wasn't actually fond of these karate or fighting games back in the day, but yeah, it's quite fun. Seems like I have a talent. Ooh! So, if we're gonna go out of that and try something else, yeah, just to push up and you're right back where you were. But how do you go up? Yeah, obviously you do like that, but then you come back to the main menu. How do I go up in there? Yeah, it's the up arrow. No, it's not, it's the back arrow. What else did we have here? We have NTSC and PAL, and there's a bunch of more games. And we had the demos. Yeah, Commodore Christmas demo, obviously. Desert Dream. Let's try Desert Dream. And run it directly. Let's turn up the volume. Oh my god, I get goosebumps. The sound now comes from the TV via HDMI cable, and it's obviously crap. I don't have dedicated speakers up here. But definitely now I'm wondering about getting a set or getting a small amplifier with a couple of good speakers so I can hear the bass or bass. We say bass in Norway, bass. And what else do we have here? We have, the GEOS boot disk. Let's just try that. It's been a long time since I tested GEOS on the 64. Yeah, there we have it. You can use it with a joystick, but that's very painful. Best used with a mouse. And 1351 mouse, I think it's called. I have one actually, but I'm not gonna hook it up now. Yeah, it's obviously loads. You can use keys, but I don't know too much about that. But it works nicely. What's unique with this machine that makes it stand out from, like, for example, the C64 Maxi, it's that it actually has the support for the original hardware, so we can test like a cartridge. It's probably not gonna go in easily. Yeah, and that's the Kung Fu Flash, so that's one way you can load games and programs. So hopefully that works. I'm not sure if it's 100% compatible with everything. Yeah, apparently not. It just came up with a blue screen. Yeah, it works. I just had to reset it. So now we're in the Kung Fu Flash. And apparently the last thing I tested there was the Super Mario Bros. 64. And yeah, obviously it works here too from the Kung Fu Flash. And it loaded very fast, as expected. Notice notice the lighting. How about the diagnostic cartridge? What will it tell us about this machine? Tja, looks to run as normal. Well, I actually expected that. But it will probably fail on the SID test. I mean, it will report U18 as bad, maybe. We'll see. Yeah. And also U1 and U2. But the U1 and U2 is because you need a test harness for those. But you can still, with the cartridge inserted, go to the menu. And if you exit the menu, then it just goes straight back to where it was in the cartridge. I mean, in the Commodore. I think that was it for the initial testing of this great machine. It was supposed to be the Founders Edition with the gold keys and everything, but I very much love this. The reason I wanted the Founders Edition was simply because of the collectability of it, and I also thought it would arrive first. But actually, of the three machines, I personally like this one the most. We need to take a look at the manual. It's nice to have a book to read in from time to time. I was hoping I could open this without damaging it. Obviously the machine will change over time, and it already has changed, and with a book you quickly get outdated, but the manual is in fact being updated online. Take a brief look at the book. The Bible. If Perifractic is the God, then this is the Bible. Has it been mounted correctly? The page doesn't fall down here because it stops there, but yeah, you can't ask for everything to be perfect. So this is the table of contents, setting up the file browser, getting started, basic programming, advanced basic, sprite graphics. This is great stuff. Peripherals, networking and Wi-Fi, modem, printer. Yeah, that's so cool. And it's in color. Very nice print quality, and the paper quality is very nice too. Not too shiny. Is it multi-language? At least this security info, even in Swedish and Norwegian. But I think the manual itself is English only. Yes. Okay, maybe I'll put this on my night table besides my bed for a few nights. Alright, boys and girls, this was fun. This was my take on the C64 Ultimate first glance and unboxing. I haven't really seen much of the other videos on purpose because I didn't want to try to copy someone else. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really like this project, and yeah, the whole thing about resetting Commodore, and Christian Simpson and Perifractic is a very nice guy. I really like him. I actually had some contact with him also through my channel. And I love the product, and now you can also order the Commodore 64C Ultimate. I don't think I want to buy that. I have enough machines for now. The next one I'm waiting for now is the ZX Spectrum Next 3. That has also been delayed for a few months now, and the last thing I heard, they expected maybe June, but now we have June soon, and I don't think we'll see it until the autumn or maybe winter time. We'll see, but I already paid for that in full, and I look forward to that as well. But I can't really buy everything that comes out either, because that's too much. And I'm not as lucky as to get free samples from the various vendors when there's something like the bigger YouTubers do. Not envy at all, no. Not jealous at all, no. No, it's fine. I do it my way. Anyway, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Just want to say thanks, and special thanks to my patrons. If you want to support this channel, just hit me up on Patreon and see what you get there. It's not much, but there is at least ad-free videos, and you get early access to videos as well. Thanks, bye bye.